Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode of your friendly neighborhood podcast, Boomer and Junior. My name's Boomer.
And I'm Junior.
How we doing, everybody? We're just hanging out. We're going to be talking some sports as we normally do. Junior, as we normally do, buddy, what's going on with you, big guy?
Oh, man, it's been so difficult for me out here recently. I surfed this weekend. I played beach volleyball. I went for some walks outside and some runs. It's been a really tough, man. Yeah. How about you? How are things going over in Dallas?
I hate you so much. Okay, to be fair, I only got back home to Dallas on Sunday, because before that I was in sunny Bradenton Beach, Florida for my buddy Jack's bachelor party. When I tell you that I finally get the appeal of why people retire to Florida. Like, I finally get it. It took me 26 years to get it, but boy, did I get it. It had me going like, oh, maybe. Currently reporting live from Alaska, folks. Came home Sunday to a completely iced out Dallas, Texas. Today, like Tuesday, was the first time I drove my car out, and mind you, like, even that, yeah, iced out.
Iced out.
Glad
you got that right away.
Pull the one time I'm gonna do it, but pull the Shador. The one time I'm gonna do it. We've got about, I'm gonna say, 3 or 4 inches of straight ice, and now turning into slush here in Dallas, folks. It's great. Life is just great. Nobody's cars are prepared for it. We don't have plows. I mean, the only plows people got are the ones that got going on in their homes, but that's different. But yeah, hopefully be able to come out of this storm pretty soon here, man. But yeah, still had some great sports to talk through here, don't we, Zachy Poo?
Yeah, just hoping for the best for you there, Nick. 3 to 4
Thanks,
inches
pal.
is a lot.
It's just straight ice, dude. It's just straight ice, bro. I mean, some might say like that's more than average. You know what I mean? Like, some might say like that's like
definitely too much. I would say.
You're shooting for the stars at this point. All right, you're asking for too much at this point. All right, like, but yes, regardless, yeah, here we are.
All right, and without further ado, we will jump into our sports action. And we always start on this podcast with football first. That's just kind of with the nature of when we started. However, it's going to be kind of short this week because all we had was our one matchup, the national championship game. And in that, folks, Nick, tell us about that outcome right there.
Do I have to? Do I really have to? I don't want to.
You don't have to if you don't want to. But
no, you can take the first part, and then I will take the rest.
All right. Yeah, we had the Indiana HOO-HOO-HOO-HOOSIERS winning this game 27-21 over the number 10 seed Miami Hurricanes. Hoosiers not covering in this game, which was a little surprising to me. I thought they would probably do that, but did get the win. First national championship in program history, completing the first ever 16-0.
Gotta give them brownie points for that, man.
Hats off, claps for the Indiana Hoosier program.
Gotta give them brownie points for that, man. Yeah, man. Curt Cignetti, inevitable, man. It proved it the last 2 years. Yeah, I think it's a credit to like the power. I mean, having a great coach like Sig, but also just the mentality of like recruiting great players and like transferring in great players too, right? Like, I'm impressed, quite frankly. It's funny, like, going into this national championship, there was the map of, like, oh, who's America rooting for, right? Like, all of America's rooting for Indiana. Miami and, like, South Florida is rooting for you, Miami. And then you look at 2 little towns in Indiana. You look at 2 little towns. You look at West Lafayette, and you look at South Bend, Indiana, all right? When you look at West Lafayette, it says Miami, all right? My alma mater, all right? And then you've got South Bend, my family's like like my family's team. Just all it says is they're like, hoping for a meteor to hit the ground, all right? Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, just this national championship was like low key my national championship from hell, but it happened nonetheless. Hey man, one guy that I've hated that he's so good, and I'm so jealous that he never like played for Purdue is like Fernando Mendoza, dude. Kid is like we've talked about it all year, right? Kid is the most humble quarterback ever. Like he's like at least this season, right? Such a humble kid. Like when you compare him to a lot of the other Heisman winners, like the biggest comp was like Burrow, right? A couple of years ago. Like obviously he didn't put up numbers like Burrow did, but like man, did he like he like on one side he's like the sweetest, most like pookiest princesses of all the quarterbacks in the world. But then on the other side, he will cook your defense left and right. Like he's got a gun on his arm and he can still run the ball, right? No shocker, Fernando winning that MVP in this game. 16 for 27, 186 yards in the air, scoring a rush tutty. Not his like craziest stat night, but like getting the job done for IU, man. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, honestly, kind of underwhelming for him statistically, but he doesn't
Yeah.
care about that at all. Though he's definitely very much so a wants the team to succeed, do well, whatever it takes for his team to win. And so he was more than happy to maybe take a little bit of a backseat there and have his
Yeah.
team get the win. I will say, touching on a couple of things here, that rushing touchdown. So much more than just a simple, QB sneak tush push thing, right? Most of you folks listening in probably watched it live, but on that 4th and 5, I believe it was, inside the Miami 20, taking the quarterback draw there, making a gutsy decision to cut the play to the right instead of the left like it was drawn up, fighting through some defenders, getting a little spin action in there, and diving across the goal line. Not just get the first down, but the touchdown there. Big time
Kid's
stuff
ballsy,
from a
man.
big time player. I remember coming into this season hearing stuff about like, oh yeah, this Indiana quarterback might be like a dark horse Heisman candidate. He probably not necessarily win it, but like maybe get an invite to New York. And I was kind of like, okay, it's Indiana, whatever. Indiana was good last year, but they probably can't be as good again. And even if they were Heisman,
That's
no
what
way.
I thought.
Psych.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean,
then
Miami did have some. Oh, go.
I would say, yeah. Then we just had a little mini segment here with we're calling it Miami Studs and Duds.
So good.
I'll take the studs here real quick, and I'll let Nick do the
Sure.
duds because I think he's even more of a proponent of it than I am.
Oh,
But yeah, for
so
a couple of
happy
studs on the Hurricane end, we had Mark Fletcher Jr. with 112 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, as well as Malachi Toney, the receiver, with 122 yards receiving and a touchdown. These two skill players, amazing, phenomenal. Going to be some of the top guys at their respective positions in the country next year.
Yeah.
Malachi Toney, maybe not quite as like sure-handed, like just throw it up there, he'll get it as like a Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. But kid's got some wheels to him, man, and is still pretty sure-handed in his own right. And Mark Fletcher Jr. just really kind of doing it all around, great purpose back right there.
Dude.
So, serious stuff there.
Malachi Toney, young buck, man. Miami's got a scary one on their hands, dude. They've got the money to hold on to a kid like that, man. I would not be shocked if he's like one of the highest NIL guys the next couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Moving into duds, folks. God, this makes me happy. Miami's duds specifically. One might call him the duddest of them all right? Because there's definitely nothing going on up here. I'll tell you that. There's definitely nothing up there. Here, empty. Guys, Carson Beck, to his credit, finishes his collegiate career with only 6 losses. Not bad, right? But 4 of those ended with picks on the final offensive play by him, all right? Man, Carson Beck, I am so glad you're out of college football, man. Like, nothing makes me happier than to see your old farty ass and pick throwing ass out of college football. Everyone around me has heard me rant about him. Zach's girlfriend's family has heard me rant about them. Shout out the Axels. But yes, what a game. It is what it is. But yes.
I'm trying to find. Sorry for being on my phone. I was trying to find. I could have sworn I saw he said something crazy in a post.
Oh yeah.
Interview. I can't find it at this moment.
Mind
I don't remember what it was. I know what it was. Yeah, it was that he left the field without shaking anybody's hands. Yeah. Yep, that's what it was.
That might be one of the worst things I've seen in a while for sports, man. Like we've had guys lose the Super Bowl and you still go across and you shake the guy's hand, all right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. There have been instances this season where Carson Beck has shown he's such a shitty human being, all right? There have been times, right? But you could still, like, there obviously are two sides to every argument or whatever. There's guys that are probably saying, like, oh, yeah, like, he was just upset or whatever. You do the minimum, like, you go across and you shake the opponent's hands, all right? Like, does not matter if you just got dog walked. It does not matter. You are Carson Beck, you are not above football, respectfully. Like, that was ridiculous.
I don't owe anyone a handshake after losing a national championship. I owe myself the standard I play to.
Which is really bad.
I swear he is tanking his draft stock. If there's a way you could put like puts on draft stock, I'm pretty sure he placed that and is taking it. Just decline it even further. Gotta be
just like
this is like, as a Michigan State fan, this is like Connor Cook levels of just terrible person.
just horrible, man. I didn't
Yeah.
know you said that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
pretty
owe a
crazy.
handshake.
So
I don't owe anyone a handshake. It's crazy. I can't.
yeah.
How do you have the balls to say that stuff, man? What the heck? I mean, he's made enough money off of college programs, dude. Like, he's good. Like, he doesn't care at this. Like, why would he care, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a shocker that he made it this far, if I'm being real with you. Anyway, let's move on, pal. I'm tired of talking. I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully, we never talk about him again on this podcast.
I'm so glad we don't have to talk about him anymore.
I'm sure our listeners are happy to hear that too.
Probably. Real talk.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to something a little bit more joyous. It's kind of staying in the same realm of football here with our Boomer's Bold Take of the week. So, Boomer, go ahead and hit us with it. What's your bold take, baby?
All right, guys. Here's what we got. All right, you guys know me. Your local neighborhood boiler. All right, proud Boilermaker alum, class of 2022. All right. I have not been the biggest fan of IU. I will never be a fan of IU. Let's get that clear. All right. But let me be clear. Fernando Bayaba might be a banger, and it just might, like, after everything said and done, Fernando Bayaba fits, first off, banger. Second off, fits Fernando Mendoza way too well. Like, me and Zach were talking about this right before we recorded the pod. It is unfair, just the aura this man represents and, like, how it fits with this song, right? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what to tell you, but here we are. That's my bold take for the week. It's not really that bold, but yeah.
The end of the national championship game, where there's the confetti flying down and they're interviewing him on ESPN or ABC, whatever, and you can hear, "You can feel it in the air tonight. The stars are bright." Fernando.
And let's not get demonetized. Yeah.
In the background. Yeah, I was just. I think we're okay there. I think I'm not going to demonetize or anything like that. But just hearing that little bit in the background, as again the confetti's flying, he's on the interview. They just won the Natty, perfect season, forever. Like
crazy stuff, man.
Disney couldn't write this, right? It would be too unrealistic. Yeah.
High key.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you told me
amazing story, fairy tale season, great ending for him, Cignetti, the Hoosier program.
If you had told me at 22 years old when I came out of Purdue that Indiana football, A, I was going to witness a national championship with theirs in my lifetime, but B, in that national championship they'll go undefeated, I'd have thought you were on drugs, respectfully. But here we are. I don't know. In the year of our Lord 2026, here we are.
There we go.
All right. Keeping this trend rolling. Moving into one of my favorite segments is Junior's Jumbo Stat. So John, I was gonna call you Jumbo Junior. What is the number for the week, pal?
I mean, you can call me Jumbo too if you want. I guess I don't know.
That's so funny. That's so goofy.
I've got a couple of numbers I'll be throwing in together here. So I'm gonna start. The number is 261. That is the ranking of the 247 composite recruiting rankings for basketball for Illinois shooting guard Keaton Wagler, freshman this year on the team. You may be wondering, why are we talking about this guy? Or if you watched the game that occurred between Illinois and Purdue in Mackey Arena this past weekend, you know the reason why. Because this true freshman, who wasn't even ranked in the top 250 of his class, dropped 46 points in Mackey Arena in the Illinois victory against the Purdue Boilermakers. We'll recap the game a little bit more further on down, But that stat right there is crazy. That this kid isn't even some 5-star. He's barely a
Where'd he
4-star
come
by
from,
some
dude?
247 sports metrics, right? I mean that's respectfully kind of a low ranking for a basketball player right there. For him to
Where
have
did this
that
guy
kind of
come
an
from, dude?
impact in arguably the toughest environment to play in the country against a proven good
Top
Purdue
four
squad this
team.
year, insane. Uh,
Top four team on the road,
yeah.
man.
Quick
Yeah.
notes for the record there. It is the most points ever by an opposing player in Mackey Arena, and he shot 9 for 13 from three as a part of that 46-point effort.
Yeah, we're gonna cover that game here in a sec here, but holy crap, dude! Like I saw this, like I wasn't watching this game because I was like, oh, I thought Purdue's gonna come out with the win here, and also like I was out on the beach, so I didn't want to have to worry about any of that stuff. But yeah, man, no, 46 points by a freshman is ridiculous, dude. A freshman that no one heard of, dude. I'm always gonna give credit to where it's due, man. What a night for the guy. Go off, man. Enjoy
That's
it, young guy.
genuinely a life-changing performance. I mean, this guy
I
is
agree, dude.
is got to be in draft conversations after doing something like that. I mean, it's crazy.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree, man. All right, buddy boy. Let's move on into we're in the thick of basketball season, folks. So we're gonna recap a few games on our end here, right? Kicking us off, we're kicking off with the Boilers. It wouldn't be a Boomer and Junior podcast without Boomer talking about his Boilermakers, right? It's really not fun saying this next part, but Purdue's really on a skid right now, folks. Purdue's on a skid, losing 2 in a row, losing by 2 to UCLA on the road in LA. Against the UCLA squad that's like decent, but like is not looking like the UCLA of the past. You can blame all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, like Purdue should have won that game. Um, Home to Illinois, only lost by 6, but man, freshman Keaton Wagler dropping 46 points, man. Like I mean, we just talked about that like 2 seconds ago. Um, I don't know what's going on, but then again, this is giving up like shades of Purdue from a few years ago, man. Like start out the season real hot, right? But then you start hitting bumps in January. Um, to be fair, this is where you want to be hitting those bumps before you hit March, but we're cutting it close, man. Like, I'm kind of breaking news here. It's live right now. Purdue's playing Indiana, at Bloomington, and they're down 29-40 at the half. It is yeah, they're down 29-40 at the half. IU just hit a 3-pointer to seal the first half, but here we are, man. Like, I'm hoping they rally back in the second half, but something I don't know if it's the players or if it's just like I don't know what's going on, but like I mean the team can't just rely on Braden Smith, dude. Like he's the best point guard in basketball right now, and like you can't just rely on one guy. All right, you got guys that I've said this for months now. You need to have guys that step up and back him up, and so here we go. Purdue could potentially be on a skid of 3. We'll see, man.
Braden Smith is picking a good time to get out because he's got Jeremy Fears nipping at his heels, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, it's definitely best point guard in college basketball right now. I will say for Purdue, I wouldn't say all hope is lost. Michigan State last year won the Big Ten conference regular season, went 17-3 conference record. I think won the conference by 3 games in total. So next highest team had 14 conference wins. And 2 of those conference losses were back-to-back at UCLA and at USC. That road trip going out west right there is really crazy and can be really
rough,
nasty.
dude.
I feel like you can't be too upset with the UCLA loss there then. And obviously you don't want to lose. But honestly, splitting that series, can't complain too much.
True.
That said, Purdue is a team that does not lose at home. This is their second loss this season at home, one of which was
Crazy.
kind of a blowout. Well,
A
not quite
blowout.
a blowout, but
blowout.
a pretty intense loss,
blowout.
though. They dropped this Indiana game, too. Maybe some expectations need to be adjusted for the season. I don't know. I think Matt Painter can get things turned around a bit and still get a pretty good season out of the squad. But national championship aspirations are seriously at risk right now, I would say.
Oh, we're not. If I was Painter, I'd be scrubbing that off the board, like to show them the gap right now where they need to be. Like guys like Daniel Jacobson, man, not up to par right now. Like Oscar Clough, what is going on? All right.
Yeah,
anyway.
Jacobson's been a real disappointment because he barely was able to play at all last year. He got hurt in like one of the first couple of games, if I
He
recall
got hurt.
correctly. But he looked pretty good in that like first little bit of playing time he had, and that was as a true freshman. So I figured, it would take a little time to get back from the injury, but that if he was that good off the jump, just even being around the system, learning more about it and stuff, that he'd be pretty serviceable this year. And he has not been quite what I at least was hoping for out of him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We can talk about that one forever. Let's move on so I don't punch a hole in my walls.
Well, we'll move on to my squad, the Michigan State Spartans, who have not been causing me, at least not pain, some anxiety, which we'll get into in a second, but not any pain though. They swept. They went undefeated in their Pacific Northwest trip, taking care of both Oregon and Washington, and then came home and I think giving a beatdown is an understatement to the Maryland Terrapins. I'm sorry to my buddy Ryan, who I work with. It's a Maryland grad. 91-48 win there for Michigan State. This was honestly kind of embarrassing for the Maryland program. I think Buzz Williams is going to get something decent going there eventually, but definitely no immediate success translating from his time at Texas A&M. So, yeah, this is definitely kind of a rebuild year. Hopefully they can get maybe a signature win or two as the season wraps up, get some kind of momentum, help with some recruiting going into next season. Yeah, we'll see what happens. This was Maryland's worst conference loss ever, and also their largest loss in any game since the school racially integrated in 1965. That seems like a little weird stat there. I don't want to unpack that too much, but that is some interesting information there about just the magnitude of this loss. Pretty crazy. Additionally, I say just one final note. I mentioned Jeremy Fears nipping at Braden Smith's heels. Jeremy Fears, a 17-17 game in this one, 17 points and 17 assists. Very impressive. Brought his assist per game average back up like half an assist per game, I think. So he's kind of right behind Braden Smith right now for Division I leaders in that category at like 8.9. Smith is at the low nines. We got two great ball distributors between our, alma mater and then team that I cheer for that I didn't go to.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's been a weird. I think Michigan State's finally found their rhythm, right, man? Hey, that's a beatdown if I've ever seen one, man. Maryland's having an off year this year after losing big guys to the draft, man, to the NBA. But I will say that OT thriller against Rutgers that just happened, like, pretty impressive. Not gonna lie, pretty impressive. Not gonna lie.
I had given up on that game. They kept. Yeah, I guess we can talk about that one really quickly too. They just won 88-79, I think, in overtime at Rutgers. Only led, I think, at 1.9-8 in regulation, and Rutgers led or was tied the rest of the game. And Rutgers led by like 8-10 or so for most of that game. MSU just barely getting it cut down, tying it before the end of regulation, and just using that momentum to propel them to the victory in overtime. Really gritty win for the Spartan squad.
Huge. I mean, I looked away for 2 seconds and I see the overtime score. They're up. They think they were on like a 14-6 run. It was nuts. Shout out the Spartans, man. All right. Let's move into some SEC action, bro. We've got the great. I'm just kidding. I was going to try and make a bit with Vandy being the greatest team in the SEC. We all know they're not. But starting 16-0, thought they were doing pretty great. Losing 3 straight, man. Losing at Texas 64-80 versus Florida, 19 Florida, mind you, 94-98. And lastly, at number 20, John Calipari's Arkansas, 68-93, which was not pretty.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty evident of like what's going on with a lot of teams across the country, right? Like you're starting to hit a lot. You got guys that are exhausted, right? And really, you're starting, like, it's proving out like whose schedules are stronger than the others, and that like it's kind of confirmed that Vandy's like your strength of schedule merchants, really, and like that's kind of what we're getting out of this, right? Now, don't get me wrong, Texas has not been a great team this year, but like they've had their moments where like on their best night, they're one of the better teams in the country, right? Like, I don't know. I think this Vandy team still makes a run for the tournament, like, but it's a matter of how they come out, banged up from the SEC. We'll see.
I will say I want to give a little bit of credit towards Vanderbilt in terms of their schedule.
True.
They have had a pretty low strength of schedule. It has not been great. Having just at UCF was a game. There's a couple of games they tried though to have some decent matchups. They had a St. Mary's game. They played had a Memphis matchup too, at Wake Forest. These are some games that non-conference games that got scheduled that should have hypothetically added to their strength of schedule, but Memphis is down compared to what we expected, as well as St. Mary's too is way down compared to what is expected out of them normally. And so they just kind of got a bad draw there, I guess, kind of in terms of having some maybe higher ranked opponents.
Yeah, dude. SEC basketball is getting tougher and tougher by the years, man. It's pretty evident about it.
Indeed. Hot off the presses, we'll go back to some Big Ten action here. We have Nebraska ball, number 5, top 5 for the first time ever. Nebraska ball finally suffering their first loss of the season at number 3 Michigan, 75-72. Nick, did you think going into the year that we'd be saying that this was a top 5 matchup between Nebraska and Michigan? I didn't.
I undefeated Nebraska sounds like it's an oxymoron, if I'm being honest with you, but here we are.
Yeah, Nebraska and Indiana switched. They took their historical programs of basketball and football, switched them, and brought them to modern day. You got historically great Nebraska football going to now great basketball.
Michigan.
IU flip-flop.
Yeah.
This was a tough one for them to get their first loss. Playing at Michigan, I feel like can't really blame any team for losing there with that really great Wolverine squad. Two guys on Nebraska's team that had 20-plus points had Price Sanford and Jamarcus Lawrence. They're putting in their work. You got 2 20-point scorers and you lose a game that's maybe need some help from the rest of the team and the bench and stuff. But, yeah, we'll see if Nebraska can get it turned around here. Fred Hoiberg's squad.
Something like that, bro. I think Nebraska's still legit, though. Like, in my opinion, I think they're still legit. I think they're making a deep run in the Big Ten, if not. And if they keep their momentum up, an Elite 8 appearance is what I'm thinking they'd land. I don't think it's out of reach.
I mean, they've been consistent enough. They got that Michigan State home win, albeit a close one. They have thrashed Creighton as well as Wisconsin, right? I mean, they're getting some really big, high caliber wins here. It'd be maybe good to see them get a couple other ranked wins. Oh, I guess they did also win at Illinois. So yeah, there we go. There's another one. So they're clearly proving that they're legit.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see where exactly they stack up, though.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that.
Unprecedented territory for the program.
Sticking in the Midwest, but not in the same conference. We're gonna move into the Big 12. We're gonna talk about a team we've talked about a little bit this year so far. Iowa State, Big 12 front runners? ? They were at one point. Dropping 2 in a row to unranked Kansas and unranked Cincinnati. I think the big question everyone's got in their minds is what the heck is going on with these Cyclones, man. I mean, a big statement win was against, I think at the time, number 1 Purdue. At number 1 Purdue in Mackey, beating them by almost I think it was 19 points, which was insane. Like Zach alluded to earlier, it's a place where it's one of those things where Purdue does not lose at home, and so I think. It's crazy how many teams are losing momentum and how fast they're losing it. I think it's a little bit faster than normal, if you had to ask, compared to what we've seen in the past. What was I going to say, though?
It seems kind of, on that note, it seems late but sudden, if that makes sense. I feel like it's weird how many undefeated teams we had going into mid-January, but all of them are crashing at the same time now, which is so bizarre, with the exception of Arizona, who is unstoppable apparently.
Yeah, I can't stop those guys, man. 21 zip, I think they are right now. It's nuts. Yeah. I mean, it's a big Iowa State. They keep going like this. I think they're gonna start slipping on that Big 12 championship, right? It's gonna. I don't know who else is in the Big 12 that's doing that. BYU, I think, is doing okay.
But really, Houston, Texas Tech, all would be giving them a run for their money. Yeah,
I forgot Houston's the Big 12 now. I don't know. Root for these Cyclones. See where they go.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we clearly, because of that big road win at Mackey Arena, we know that Iowa State is a good team, right? You don't just stumble into having that type of a win.
No.
But yeah, keeping it together for long stretches, we'll see. Dealing with fatigue.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then not some direct game recaps necessarily, but some kind of other storylines we have. First line we got here is Shades of March in January. We got a couple of fun highlights here. First of which is Missouri facing off against Oklahoma about a week ago. Um, they hit 2 buzzer beaters in that game, one of which was at the end of regulation to tie the game and send it to overtime on their home court, which was big time, and then use that momentum through overtime, keeping it close, and then hitting another buzzer beater to win the game against that Sooner squad. Very impressive, very exciting finish there for Missouri. And then another kind of high anticipation, exciting finish we got was Creighton's Austin Swartz missed a game-tying free throw in their matchup against, I don't have it written down here, but it was a Big East squad. Anyways,
Yeah.
but it was in a matchup though. Missed the free throw, but got his own rebound and he got the putback up and in to win the game as time expired. Big time stuff there. Really exciting plays. I think this has been such a great season so far, and we know teams turn it up by the time it gets to March. I think we're in for some very good basketball here as the season closes.
I'm a little scared of what March is going to look like this year, dude. I feel like there's a little bit of unpredictability. I mean, there always is, right? I mean, it's freaking March Madness, but like, I feel like there's somewhat of like extra unpredictability from like usual standouts, I guess, from maybe is what I'd like to call like.
The sport as a whole feels better this year. Like it seems like there's like 3 or 4 teams that seem like clear front runners to win the national championship that maybe are like above the rest. But conversely, it feels like we have a stronger like middle class of sorts, right? That could maybe knock off some of those teams. So yeah, it's a really weird kind of vibe situation, but it's gonna be
weird. It's scary, man. Talking more about the sport that we love. We got some news that came in, like broke out in the world of NCAA basketball recently. It's a former G League and Alabama player, Charles Bediako, is actually granted. I think he got drafted. He was granted permission to return to Alabama, and immediately granted a temporary restraining order start to play for the program, which is nuts by the way. Zach did some research and come to find out the judge is a 6-figure donor to Alabama. The amount of tampering there sounds wild. All right. And also, fun fact: the judge's wife at one point represented Darius Miles, former teammate of his, on his murder case from a few years ago. So this couple clearly knows how to pick them. It's just there's a lot of questions about what's going on with these guys being granted waivers to come back and play. Calipari apparently went on a 7-minute rant post game the other day about how this is it's one thing to recruit a kid from abroad. It's one thing to do that, to give him an education 4 years as an 18-year-old. It's one thing, right? But if you're letting guys that went through a program to go try and go pro come back to try again, and make money in college, you're basically shutting out a lot of high schoolers from getting on rosters in D1 basketball. And when the way he said it really, really hit home, and I was like, holy crap. Personally, I think this is ridiculous. I think it's one thing with NIL, right? It's one thing with NIL. At some point, there's going to have to be sanctions put on NIL, right? But how are we the whole premise of this is kids go to college because of their outstanding sporting abilities. They get a full ride for 4 years or whatever, and they're done after that. The second you declare you're going pro, you have made a decision to forego your tuition scholarship and things like that, and your eligibility. I think it's ridiculous. It makes me so upset when I see these news little notifications pop up on my phone. I roll my eyes so hard, it's ridiculous. But yes, sorry, it's my little mini rant for the night. But
yeah. I mean, ignoring the blatant corruption that is occurring here,
horrible,
which is absolutely ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, this is just awful. Like you said, it's taking away opportunities for the high school athletes. This is the same issue with like 5th and 6th years being granted, like with the Diego Pavia case and stuff like that, right? You're taking opportunities away from other people, right? You got your time to shine. I can see some cases. I don't actually hate the whole rule of like if you play JUCO, you get one more year of NCAA eligibility. But in general, though, like you got to watch out and make sure that like the new incoming high school players are going to have an opportunity to be able to showcase themselves and get their shot at playing. And so this is just ridiculous and terrible for the sport. I'm glad that a lot of coaches are speaking out against it. I haven't seen particularly how Alabama's been doing after he's joined the team, although Alabama's been struggling this year in general.
True.
I know Baylor also added a former G League player who got drafted earlier this season, and they he's A, been playing terribly for them, and B, they haven't been really winning games since and stuff too. So I'm glad to see that this is not seeming to be beneficial necessarily. It's not like making teams like cracked all of a sudden and they're just going to start mopping the floor with everybody. So that's nice to see at least. But yeah, I mean, what's stopping LeBron from going and playing
to Ohio State?
Ohio State, yeah, right, exactly.
That'd be crazy.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, we need laws. I'm kind of hoping. I heard a theory about this. I'm hoping that the NCAA is intentionally letting stuff run wild, so that way Congress has to step in and put some serious laws in place to limit this.
Someone said that the NCAA loves chaos, and I thought that's the best way to put it. Yeah. Crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy stuff.
So yeah, we'll see. I don't hate the kid necessarily who's taking advantage of the opportunity. If it's the system's going to allow it, might as well as use it. But the system is beyond messed up.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. So, I'll give you that.
One final college basketball storyline, kind of recapping previous couple weeks' action, is we got two pretty cool new entries to the poll. We got St. Louis, who's now ranked number 21 in the AP poll, as well as still undefeated Miami of Ohio Redhawks at number 24, second week in a row being ranked now in that AP poll. Big time stuff for both of these programs. Really stoked for both the Billikens and the Redhawks there. Good stuff for those teams.
Hey, man. Miami of Ohio. Who would have thunk? All right. We've looked at the past. Let's take a look at the future, folks. We're going to go into our last segment of the night. It's our CBB preview. Zachy boy, kick us off, buddy. I know you want to take this one.
Oh, baby. You know where we're starting, baby. We got Michigan State this Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Let's go.
Dusty May is a cow. Actually, yeah, I'm going to lead with this. Dusty May is a coward. Dusty May is a terrible person.
I thought he was going to do it.
I actually had respect for Dusty May when he took the job in Michigan. I was like, this guy seems cool. I think there's going to be a great rivalry between him and Izzo, like there was between Izzo and Beeline.
True.
The way him and his team handled the senior night ceremony last year for Michigan State. I'll do a little recap here for those of you who aren't aware. I don't know if you knew about this or not too, Nick. So Michigan State has this tradition on senior day, last home game of the season, started by, oh gosh, was it Steve Smith or Morris Peterson? I think maybe it started it, and then it was like a hiatus for a few years, and then Mateen kissed the court again. Anyways, for 25 years now, players have been kissing the court as they check out of the game in the final couple minutes.
Oh, that's kind of
usually wins on senior night. And so they'll be checking out, putting in the reserves, and the seniors kiss the court. They'll even do it for the bench warmers and stuff. They'll put them in, give them a chance to do it too as they check out for the final time. Great standing ovation. Amazing tradition. Very well established, well-known tradition. Okay. This past year, Michigan State has 3 or 4 seniors, whatever. They have a couple guys check out and do it already. They already kissed the court, had the opportunity going out. So they're aware this is a thing that is happening. But then near the end of the game, a couple of Michigan players are standing on center court blocking it as they're clearly about to check out one final senior to be able to kiss the court. And Trey Holloman goes up and is like, yo, move off the logo. And they refuse to. And so he shoved them, as he should. And then there was a whole, small skirmish and stuff after that. Everything ended up being okay. Guys were able to kiss the court. Izzo even let Holloman kiss the court. First time a non-senior has kissed it, which was a big deal. And he earned that too, I will say. Anyways, long story short, getting to kind of the main point here. the way Dusty May handled that in the interview afterwards was ridiculous. He played completely dumb. He was like, "What? So in a game, my guys aren't allowed to stand on center court? Like they're not allowed to stand on the court? I don't understand. They're playing a
Classic
game."
Michigan attitude.
I could not believe it. And it'd be one thing too, maybe like I get if it's like a close competitive game still, maybe like maybe set up, do whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they were down like 20 at that point, and there was less than a minute left. There was no way, no conceivable chance Michigan was going to come back and win that game. And the way he showed no remorse for it was just ridiculous. Completely classless individual. I hope that he never wins another game again. Screw that guy. Anyways, back to this game. This is going to be an
Classic
intense,
Michigan
ugly
attitude.
basketball game. Lots of defense, under 130 total points scored. Yaxel Lendenborg is going to be, or versus Cohen Carr is going to be a great matchup, both offensively and defensively. We'll see if Michigan's able to muck up Michigan State's kind of pass-heavy offense, force some turnovers, or if Michigan State's able to keep up with the high-flying Wolverines.
Yeah, it should be a good one, man. I mean, Michigan State's always like a fun one to watch. I think that's really disgusting what Dusty May did. Granted, there's a lot with that guy that I don't like. I think he's very classless. I think the way he goes about stuff is not cool at all. Then again, fits with the brand, in my opinion. If it doesn't work out for them, they're a bunch of crybabies, right? So I'm not surprised. Moving
Ironically,
on.
not even the most problematic Michigan head coaching move of last year.
Isn't that crazy? Oh my god. Let's not. Oh boy. I kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier tonight, but number 12 Purdue is playing at Indiana. I absolutely do not have the game on in the back. Absolutely not. I don't know what people are talking about. I would never do that. Playing in Assembly Hall, it's a road trip for the Boilers. They always play the first game of this matchup on the road in Bloomington. Fun fact: the Boilermakers proudly hold the lead, like in head-to-heads, 128-93 historically, which is nuts. And I wrote down my notes. I said, WTF can Painter do with this team? All right. I like, to be fair, when they're hot, right? Like we just need Painter just need he would be the guy to get this team out of a rut. All right. And I think that can happen. Let's see, that gap has come down a lot since I last brought it up, but I'm not going to say it again just to jinx it. But here we are. Go Boilers. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah. Moving on to a Big 12 center of the nation matchup. We got number 13 BYU at number 14 Kansas. This is a really exciting matchup to see. This year, I feel like amongst a lot of other recent years, we got three freshmen who have really asserted themselves to be like the top three of the class of it. Granted, albeit solid freshman class throughout, right? You've got a lot of other guys who are good enough this year that they could have maybe been number one pick conversation in like last year's draft, for example. But we've got three absolute studs at the top of the class. They're not even getting as much attention. But anyways, two of those top three studs, we got AJ DeBanza and Darren Peterson squaring off in this matchup. This will be really cool to see. I don't expect them to square up too much specifically because they play a little bit different positions, both kind of wings, but not quite the same spot there. Both absolute bucket getters, albeit DeBanza a bit more of a free throw merchant. BYU just took a tough loss with some questionable officiating in that game. We will see what the final outcome is there. I think the Kansas Jayhawks are going to take this one with the home court advantage, but we'll see if DeBanza has anything else to say about it.
Tough one, right? I mean, Kansas looking decent right now. BYU's hot as well. DeBanza, man, what a guy! Like he's been so good this year. It's just crazy to watch. Be a good one to watch. We got Kentucky at Arkansas for our next game, is what Zach and I are calling the Calipari Bowl. Mind you, Kentucky obviously not having the year they would have liked to. Like they're unranked right now against the number 15 Arkansas. Man, this is probably gonna be a tough game for Cal. Obviously, he's played Kentucky since he's moved on to Arkansas once, I think. But I mean, thankfully, this one's a home game in Arkansas, so there's not going to be a bajillion people rooting against you. Yeah, it should be a good. I think Arkansas takes this one, man. Kentucky's not looking great. Um, I'd be shocked if Arkansas and Cal's men low key drop this one. Should be good to watch. Yeah, don't expect
Yeah,
much
we'll
of
see. I
a upset
think
here.
this is a little intriguing. I think Arkansas definitely has looked like the more complete team up until this point in the season.
True.
Got some really talented freshmen like Darius Acuff Jr., Malik Thomas. Really, really great squad there in Fayetteville. I think that's where
Fayetteville,
Arkansas is
Fayetteville.
located. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Really, really good squad there though for the Razorbacks. Kentucky, I think if Kentucky pieces everything together, like
Yeah.
Kentucky running on all cylinders might be the best team in the country.
Yo, true.
Or
Oh,
could
that's a
beat
take.
any team in the country. I know it's a hot take there, but just watching them play
Ooh.
against Louisville, they had some really really good play in that game, and didn't look like they were quite at the top of their game. Then they have had some like locker room like chemistry issues. I think
Dude,
that's been a big thing holding
don't
them
be
back
saying
this year.
that.
Yeah, we'll see
Don't
if
be
they're able
saying
to
you're gonna
fight
get
through that
Kentucky
at
all
all.
riled up.
Yeah, but you got Otega Owe there, for example, right? A lot of really talented players on that team too.
True.
We'll see if Mark Pope can get this team more connected and stuff as the season progresses.
You can't be saying stuff like that, man. You're gonna get Kentucky's fan base all fired up like they normally do for no reason. They choke in March. Oh boy. Oh boy, who
Hey,
said that? Not me. Oh boy, who said that? Oh boy, who said that? Not
oh
me.
my! All right. Well, to a another SEC matchup, we got number 23 Alabama Crimson Tide at the number 19 Florida Gators. Florida should win this one. I don't think there's too much of a question about it. Florida has definitely regressed from
Ooh.
last year, but I think that's expected though. I don't think Alabama's given us any reason to think they're legit. They had that St. John's win early
Mm,
on, which seemed great, but then St. John's was unranked for a while. Florida
true.
has looked really good, and they've got a handful of losses, but they were like at Duke, for example,
True.
right? Like they've got some tough losses, really close games. I think Florida is going to win this one like a 98-88 type game.
I like it. High scoring. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. Yeah, I think Florida takes the win on this one. They're looking better than they did at the start of the year. Bama's obviously not looking like anyone thought they would. Uh, should be a pretty one. It's gonna be high scoring. It might be more one sided than you and I are talking about right now, but we'll see. All right, shifting back to Zach and I's home country. I got a home country, but the Midwest with number 9 Illinois going to play number 5 Nebraska. Nebraska obviously just took their first L, folks, of the year. Never thought I'd be saying that, but here the big question is: how are the Cornhuskers going to respond? Right? And on the flip side, Illinois just had a massive win against the number 4 team in the country with Purdue. Keaton Wagner scoring 46. Now, is Keaton Wagner going to score 46 again? Probably not, especially on the road. Well, never. Then again, he just hit 46 on the road in Mackey. I think it was a freak accident that like Keaton hit that much. All right, don't get me wrong. He might be good. He might do well. He might get a lot more play time going forward. But I think this is a critical like bounce back point for the Cornhuskers, man. I think they shrug off the L. It was really, really close. It's only like what 3 to Michigan, right? Like number 3 team in the country, right? I think Nebraska hunkers down and gets the win in this one, dude.
Yeah, I mean, a key thing here too to mention as well. Nebraska already beat Illinois this year in Champaign, which is pretty
True.
crazy. So that's kind of an interesting point to
I
consider.
already know.
I think Illinois has the talent, and if they're on their game, they could win this game. But Nebraska is definitely no team to, kind of
To muck
overlook.
around with, right?
I mean, they've got a really stingy defense. Their home crowd is getting really into it. We'll see if after they finally have a loss, if it maybe falters a little bit. But I think Fred Hoiberg can have a squad ready to go. They've proven to themselves that they can beat just about anybody, and I expect them to give a
Scary,
serious
dude.
fight. I can see this being. I think it was a little bit higher, or like just kind of like a moderate scoring game. I think it's gonna be a low scoring one against Illinois
Okay.
this upcoming week here. I think it's gonna be both teams below 65.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the take. I can see that. Yeah, they got those big Eastern European men in Illinois.
Yes, sir.
Big wall,
yes,
as we call
sir.
it. But yeah.
Against your big farm boys and
Your farm guys, your corn
and,
boys.
yeah, we got to talk about Nebraska's all-name team there. You got Sam Hoiberg, rank mast, Price Sandford, There's some
Yep.
other crazy name too. Guy got a triple-double earlier this year. Pretty nice assortment of names there on that squad.
True.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that wraps up our recap for this week and our episode. So thank you very much, as always, for tuning in. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, follow, all of that. Leave us a comment or send us an email at officialboomerandjunior@gmail.com. Make sure you check us out on social media on our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook. Just crossed over 150 followers on TikTok last week or earlier this week. So that's pretty exciting stuff, getting some momentum there and everything. We're having fun. Appreciate y'all being along with us on this journey. Hope you're enjoying the content we're throwing your way, and definitely let us know if there's anything else you want to see from us.
Got some more coming up.
Yeah. Until then, have a great rest of your week, and bye.
Bye, everybody.